So, welcome to Healthy Talks, everybody. I'm Letitia Jackson, and today you are in for a treat. We have a living legend sitting right here beside me. You all, I'm excited, I'm nervous, I'm speechless, this right, trying to get my thoughts together. And so, also, today is my birthday. If you missed it, he just sang happy birthday to me. So, it's a very special day for me. And Miss Obba Babtunde, yes. I want to say thank you for taking out your time to come sing Little Old Me in Tupelo, Mississippi. I know you're a busy individual. You have so many things that you have going on. I know you're a singer, you're a writer, producer. You have been in several movies, different type of stage plays. I don't want to spoil it for everybody, so I'm going to ask if you would tell us a bit more about yourself and your background.
Well, I always say self-praise is no praise. So sitting here talking about myself is difficult in that way because obviously, your beautiful audience, your exceptional crew, you guys have supported this career and this journey for many years. This year makes a half a century that I've been professionally in the entertainment industry. Wow. And again, I always say it's not how long you've been living, but how long you've been paying attention. That's why we got some young, brilliant people and some old fools. But the reality is that it's been a long and wonderful journey, and I'm honored, I'm blessed, to have been able to do my best to represent us well. I say that because the images that people like myself present on the screen, be it the small screen, the large screen, or the stage, go out around the world and suggest to someone who may not have had an opportunity to meet you who you might be. So why would I go out and misrepresent you? I want to represent you in a way that when somebody gets an opportunity to meet you and see you, that they realize they're dealing with someone of a particular caliber that commands and demands a certain amount of respect. And that's what I've tried to do throughout my career, whether it's been, on the small stage or just, starting out in this business many, many years ago. It's always been to represent us well, and that if I've done that, then, they say if you've affected change and won someone's life, then your living has not been in vain. And so I go forth with that to know that when God calls my name and I close my eyes, that my living has not been in vain because I have affected change, positive change in someone's life.
Wow, that was very powerful. I like how you're just so humble and how you're saying it's not just about me, it's about who I can affect.
That's right.
About my character, who I am, what type of legacy will I leave behind. When you think about Obba, what do you think about?
That's right.
He's not self-centered, but he's about people.
Yes.
So I love how you express that.
Thank you. The power that we have is staggering when you really realize it, because the power that we have, it is something that, like you stated, it's how we write our epitaph. It's how we create our legacy. You were so kind in your introduction and said that we have a legend here. I don't think anybody sets out to be a legend. Right? That is given to you. That is a reward that is given to you by those who you've affected their life, changing their life. You know what I mean? So they may talk about the movies that I did when I'm gone, or maybe while I'm here, but the deal is that they want to talk about, I would hope that they would talk more about who they met, the human being that they met, because that is the capability that we have to really come together, to communicate with each other, to support and add to one another's existence.
Wow. So you're dropping some gems right there. I think about me and what we do in our career, and I feel like that I want to have a good name.
Yes.
People to know who I am, to know that was a good person and she left to help people in the community versus I know her from just her career. So
Right.
I love how you just been humble and just saying, hey, I'm here on purpose for a purpose.
Yes.
That's to help others and show people love and draw them into what this world could be like.
Absolutely. Well stated.
Thank you. So I'm gonna ask you a question. So your name, you know, it's a very particular name.
Yes.
So what does your name stand for?
Okay. Obba Babtunde. Okay. Babtunde, it's Nigerian in origin. Loosely translated, translates to the spirit of the grandfather has returned in the child.
Wow.
Okay? Now, what's interesting about that is that for the last 5 generations, my oldest son making the 5th,
Okay.
we've all been born the same day, the same month.
Wow.
Now, people will go, whoa, usually that blows
Yes.
people's mind, right?
Yes.
And I jokingly say, you know, if someone asks me if they're a female, they say, oh my goodness, what does that mean? I said, well, don't stand too close to us at a certain time of the year, because you too could be a Bubba today. But I say that in jest. But the reality is that, think about this. There are only 365 days in a year in which anyone can be born. So, identify if there's only 365 days, okay, that anybody can be born. Start going back and checking out your family. See, we tend not to go back past our grandparents, okay? But if you go back and you say, you know what, I got a cousin that was born, you know, my nephew is born, you'll see that many of us, now yes, I didn't realize it until my oldest son was born, and my grandmother shared it with me. She said, well, you know, your father was born on his father's birthday, and I was like, oh, wow, I was just, you know, awestruck. But then as life went on, I began to identify that there's only 365 days. And so then as I share that with people, people will go back and they'll say, you know what, I went back and I checked. You know, I was born on my first cousin's birthday. We have the same birthday. Or So it's a means by which, you know. Now, Obba, spelled O-B-B-A, means governor, okay? And that basically is ruler. Now, I think we all can be, at some point, if we choose to be, a governor, certainly over ourselves.
Right.
So, but imagine this, if you will, and I'm sure you can, that when I got into this industry, they told me, you got to change your name. And I said, why? They said, well, nobody will remember it. And I said, and I don't know whether it was arrogance or confidence, but I said, well, if they can remember Engelbert Humperdinck, they'll remember Obba Babtunde. And then I said this, but I'll be honest with you, it doesn't matter whether they remember my name, if they remember what I did. So that's the story behind the name.
Wow. So did your parents how did they come up with your name?
Okay, I was given an Anglo-Saxon name.
Okay.
And rather than ever disrespect my family, Obba Babtunde is actually a translative of my Anglo name.
Wow.
And that's something else that, you know, names are titles. Okay? You know, we say this is a microphone for a reason. People tend to go out and name their children things that when they say, well, what does that mean? I don't know, it just sounded good.
That's very true.
You know what's your child's name? Well, that means toilet paper in another language. Why would you name your child that? Oh, is that what that means? I don't know that. I just thought, you know, Gakasuku sounded good. You know what I mean?
Right.
But, you know, it was funny. Early in my journey in the business, I would say, go on set. And they say, so what the director, one occasion, what's your name? I said, Obba. Oh, my God. Well, what do they call you for short? I said, there is no short. It's Obba, 2 syllables. Obba, like Mary, Tommy, Bobby, Sammy.
Wow.
You can do it. Try it. And then what would happen is that on every set that I've ever been on, people start, once they put that name in their mouth, they won't stop saying it. They're walking around singing, Obba, Babtunde, Obba, Babtunde. But, you know, a lot of people, like I said, from our families. You know, the Afrocentric, African American, Black American, however you want to term us, you know, they won't know my name, but they know the face.
That's,
you know what I
you're
mean?
right on.
You
Yeah.
know, right?
Yes.
You know, they say, oh wait, or they call me the car. Hey, that's Barry Gordy.
True. That's very true.
So Mr. Gordy and I have a joke whenever we run into each other. He says, "Oh my goodness, it's Barry Gordy."
And for a while, I thought that too.
I know. You know, there are a number of people that always heard his name over the years, but they had never seen him. So that was another thing. I've had an opportunity to represent, you know, and in the personages of people who actually live. In introducing Dorothy Dandridge and Halle Berry, I was Harold Nicholas, one of the greatest, him and his brother, the Nicholas brothers, two of the greatest men that put on tap shoes ever. You know what I mean? So it's important, again, because I also say this. If any one of your viewers, listeners, and your wonderful crew here, yourself, if someone did a story about your family and they misrepresented who that person in your family was, you wouldn't care about who played the role.
That's right.
You say, that's not my auntie, that's not my mama, that's not my daddy. So I always want to go and represent the person, the total of who they are. I always say I only play fully realized human beings. And all the characters that you see me do, they have a beginning, a middle, and an end. They are a fully realized human being. They're not just a stereotype, an idea of who one thinks, you know, you're supposed to conduct yourself as. You are a real human being. That means you have feelings, you have concerns, you have all the same things. That character has all the same things. They were born, they weren't hatched.
I love it. You do play, you played in so many different roles. And with your success, let me ask you a question. How was your upbringing with your family? 'Cause I know a lot of times when you have success like you have, it always comes back to your roots of your upbringing. Could you share more about your upbringing with your family?
Certainly, good question. Deserves a great answer. We all come. We were, before we were anything, we were first born. So, the first months of your life, the first years of your life, all become part of, I believe, part of the ingredients that helps build your life. So obviously, you know, my investment that my parents made into my life was certainly one that was a positive one. I had the ability to be able to be given the gift of believe in yourself and go forward. But the time in which I grew up, and this is something I would love us to continue to talk about. You know, I'm here today, and I'm going to be speaking about the concept of love thy neighbor.
Right.
Which is more than the concept, it's a reality. Okay, so Miss Smith, Miss Alma Smith, was probably not known to anybody except her family, and now I'm going to speak about her, and so the world knows about her. But I tell this story everywhere I go for the purpose of your question. The investment that was made. One day I came home from school, and I guess I had had a difficult day at school, and my head was hanging low. I don't even remember the occasion of what happened, but I remember the incident. And Mrs. Smith took my chin in her hands, lifted my face up, looked into my eyes, and said, "It's going to be okay. You're special." And for whatever reason, I heard her and I believed her. And I sit here with you this afternoon, this early morning. All right.
It is early.
Yes. I sit here with you this early morning as a repository of that moment. And the reason I tell that story is also not just to praise Mrs. Smith, but to say to everyone, we all have the ability to be a Mrs. Smith in someone's life. You can look at that person and tell them it's going to be all right because you're special. And they may believe you, they may hear you, they may believe you, and when the times get tough, that might be enough to carry them to the next level.
I agree with you. I love the power of affirmation.
Yes.
You know, speaking it into the existing,
Yes.
speaking into the earth realm. And so you never know what you may say that how can affect someone's livelihood.
That's right.
So it's important to be intentional about what you say and
Come
how
on
you
now.
say it. So
Come on now, sis.
that's very encouraging to me.
Yes, indeed.
You're encouraging me right now, okay?
That's a great thing.
And so also too, I did read, I did my homework some. You and your brother,
Yes.
y'all started school together?
Yes, we started
art
one of
school?
the first art schools.
Yes.
Yes. It was called Harriet Tubman. And that's, you're so brilliant in the way you've sewn this together. Really, sincerely.
Thank you.
And I compliment you because many times I do things and I have to sort of like help people along because they haven't done their homework. They say, so tell me, well, how did you get started? Well, I was born. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But you've done your homework. So yes, we started a school, and it was one of the first art schools, and it was an interesting thing because they told us we had it was a quote unquote experimental program.
Okay.
And they told us we had to take all of what I identified as kids that they didn't want to deal with. Okay? First sixth grade class, we started with sixth grade class. And in 3 years, we had our first through sixth grade and a preschool. Okay? The beautiful thing about that is that these were what they identified as throwaway kids. Nobody wanted to deal with them. But they got behavioral problems, or they weren't even calling it ADD then, but they said that, they had too much energy, whatever what it was. We developed a curriculum where we taught everything, every subject, through the use of the creative arts.
Wow.
Okay? So, for example, I say, like, who likes math? Oh, Miss Babtunde, we don't like no math. That's too hard. I said, really? Oh, well, let's see. Y'all like music? Yes. So I put on a record, right? Put on like at the time, James Brown. Did it. I said, can y'all clap? Did it. I said, hold it, wait a minute. I thought y'all told me y'all didn't like math. We don't. That's not math, that's music. I said, wait a minute. You was clapping, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's numbers, that's math. Oh, come on, Mr. Babtunde. I said, do it again. I put the song on. I said, stop. Now y'all doing division on me. They said, how's that division? I said, well, before you was clapping 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you're clapping on 2 and 4. That's division. You didn't subdivide the time. Oh, you don't have to ever teach a child how to play.
Wow.
Or want to play. So, how something is introduced to you is how you begin to identify with it. Like I told somebody, a friend of mine one time, I said, man, I got this great recipe for asparagus. Oh, yo, bro, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I'm not an asparagus guy. I said, what do you mean by that? I ain't never liked it, you know what I mean? I said, well, tell me about the first time you had it. Man, my mother used to make it. It was terrible, man. It was all stringy. And I said, oh, so you were introduced to it in a way that was unpleasant. So you identify with it as being an unpleasantry. Allow me to present it to you in a different way and see, and I cooked it for him. And he was like, man, this is asparagus? This is good. Okay, so with this school, we introduced things in a way that, one, they were interested in doing, two, that they could succeed at doing, and then they became. And the greatest thing was, about 5 years ago now, my agent got a call. We also gave all our kids African names, too.
Okay.
So that was funny, and I'll tell you why that plays into the story. So we taught introductory languages. One was introductory language to French, Spanish, and Swahili, and Ndu, which is from the Cameroon, right? And so we would have them learn these languages so they were speaking outside of something that everybody else, and it gave them a special sense about themselves.
Right.
They could communicate with each other, okay? Language is very important. So about 5 years ago, my agent gets a call from somebody, and they said, Sharon Brown's trying to reach you. I said, who's Sharon Brown? They said, I don't know, somebody called. So I called, I said, hello. May I speak to Sharon Brown, please? The voice on the other end said, hi, Obba. Do you recognize my voice? I said, honestly, I'll be honest with you, I really don't. Right? She said, it's Rafika. Rafika was one of the first students that we had in that school.
Oh, wow.
That was in 1970, around 74. She said, listen, I am now a vice principal of a school. I'm getting emotional. She said, I'm a vice principal of a school, and I want you to come and I want you to be our keynote speaker at our graduation. The kids will know you from your work in film and television, but I want to tell them how you invested in my life.
Wow.
You see? So that's the joy and the beauty. You know, I've been blessed with a lot of, awards. But I always say, as much as I am grateful of the award, I am most appreciative of the reward. And the reward is how you serve somebody else, and that comes back and serve somebody else and serve somebody else and serve somebody else.
Right. I always say, if I can affect one person, I've done my job.
That's right.
And so you have affected so many people in so many different ways. So I commend you.
Thank you.
I don't see how you had time for filming and acting and singing and also having a school, and you actually was involved in the school.
Oh, yeah.
That speaks a lot about you and your time and effort that you put in forth what you believed in.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow. So moving forward, so I know you said half a century in your career. That's a long time.
And I didn't start as a child.
That is a long time. And so when you first got into the acting career, how have things changed from the beginning up until now as far as the transitioning from being an African-American man on set to now? What do you see? And how has that changed?
It's another great question. Change is all relative, okay? That which is on the outside is not always the reality of what's going on behind the scenes. You know what I mean?
I do.
I'm sure you do. And I'm sure your viewers understand what I'm talking about. So there's been change. There's been more opportunity. I'm sitting here with you today, and your crew that is here are professionals. They're prepared. They're ready, okay? And they happen to be in the hue of us as well.
Yes.
That often was not the case when I first got into the industry of entertainment.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's, we have so many, films, we have black networks and things like that nature, not necessarily owned by blacks, but we're in front of the camera.
Right.
That always wasn't the case. I would be one of the few on the set, and, but that was okay, because there were people that came before me where there was even fewer. But it's not, I don't think, the numbers that there are. It's what is the programming that we're doing? See, identify the importance of language, as I said earlier. Programming. Tell a vision. Tell a vision. Okay? All right? What is the vision that is being told? Programming. How are you being programmed? So we have to identify when we say what's the difference and what's the changes. Let's look at how we're being served and serviced, represented. What is the program that's going in that gives us the ability to function in a particular way or not in a particular way? What is the perception that people have of you based on the programming? What is the perception you have of yourself based on the programming? So we have to be mindful when we talk about numbers or change. How did that come about? And is it change for the better? Or is it just change for a different presentation of a preordained or decided agenda So that's how I'll answer that.
Okay. And so I'm going to ask a question behind it, and you can answer it as you see fit. So at some point in your career, were you ever faced with adversity? And if so, how did you overcome it?
Well, you always are faced with adversity. In everything that you do, there's the potential for one to be faced with a challenge. But I use the word challenge rather than problem. Problem is an immovable object or circumstance. A challenge is that which you have to be able to go forward to try to figure out how to get through it, around it, and deal with it. Okay? So, you heard me say earlier, I don't know whether it was confidence or arrogance.
Yes.
But I believed in myself. I just had this unshakable belief in me. You know what I mean? And I felt that, and it had to be instilled in somehow and encouraged, But, even adversity can encourage you.
It definitely can.
How do you use what comes at you? Somebody says, no, you can't. I've heard no more than I've heard yes. All right? Somebody didn't just decide, well, they like Obba, so they're going to get. Every time they open the door, I'm still standing there. They say, he's still here? How old is he? He been here since. Isn't that the old man from Life?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's me. I'm right here. I'm sitting here right now. I don't look like the same, but I didn't say it. So yeah, I just keep showing up. You know what I mean? And I often tell people. I told somebody yesterday. I said, they may not let me in the game as much as maybe you did at one time. But any time that coach put me in the game, I'm swinging for the fence. I'm swinging for the fence every single time. Because every time I get up at bat, who knows? It could be the last time.
Right.
But I'm going to go for it. So I encourage anybody at any walk of your life, whatever your passion is, live with that passion, please. If you don't like your job, find a job that you do like and then do that. But give it the full measure of your devotion. As I sit here with you today, I'm telling you, it will manifest itself. See, because the investment brings the success or the lack thereof, okay? For those of us that remember what a piggy bank was, some of y'all may not know what a piggy bank was.
We still have piggy banks.
Okay. But you would put in American currency, you put nickels, dimes, quarters, pennies, silver dollars in that bank. Eventually, this is my metaphor for life.
Okay.
Eventually, that piggy bank will reach its capacity. And the smallest denomination in American currency, a penny, can break it open. You don't need a dollar to break it open. And what do you have? You have the residual of your investment. If you've put nothing but good in there, if you put nothing but whatever you put in there, that's what's going to be there. Your life is the same way. If you invest all good, that thing gets it and it reaches the capacity and then it breaks open and you have the residual of your bank. Okay, what I then suggest you do is go get yourself another bank a little larger. Okay, same thing. If you have a bucket of water, and the bucket of water holds like, let's say, a gallon. And you got a little tiny sponge. You put the little tiny sponge in there, before you know it, that sponge is saturated, can no longer hold any more water. So if you want to get more water to be held, you got to get a bigger sponge.
Right.
So get yourself a bigger sponge and then soak that. And then get yourself, keep letting your sponge get bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay? And that is how you will continue to advance. And that is unstoppable. That's unstoppable. Don't worry about time as an illusion. Don't worry about how long it's going to take. Okay? This is an endurance race. Life is an endurance race. It's not a sprint. It's a long distance run, okay? So prepare yourself for the journey, okay? So in doing that, you will identify that, people always, this might preach. This might, it's Sunday.
Okay.
But the thing is that need and want. Let's talk about that for a second. Because generally, need is what somebody else has decided you need. I mean, want. Somebody else decide what you want. So they'll say, man, Bubba got 6 cars. Man, that fool don't need no 6 cars. Say, hey, Bubba don't have 6 cars because he needs 6 cars. He got 6 cars because he wants 6 cars. Okay? So in that, identify that it doesn't matter when you woke up this morning and you had your health and strength and you were relatively in your right mind. You had everything you need to go and get what you want. So decide. Most people don't have what they want because they haven't decided what they want. I always say there's 2 definitives in life. Keep it simple. 2, yes and or no. And a choice at either one of those definitives moves your life forward. Yes, I'm going to do that. That moves your life forward. No, I'm not going to do that. That also moves your life forward because now you're free to go and do what you do want. So decide what do I want? And then take the first step toward it. If you take one, another step will be taken for you. I'm not saying it because I think it. I'm saying it because I know it, because I'm sitting here with you today.
Wow, you are preaching to the choir. I promise you, I'm trying to hold my tears back because oftentimes we feel like we got to get in a rat race to speed up to try to get what we're trying to go to, right? What we see in front of us, we're rushing to get there. But I'm hearing process, take time, invest in yourself, and see how God move in your life. See how you will expand in His timing.
Absolutely. Watch this. We have divided time for our convenience as human beings, okay? Past, present, and future. Let me show you how closely they're associated. What I'm about to say is in the future. While I'm saying it, it's in the present. Once I've said it, it's in the past. So identify how quickly you say it, how closely past, present, and future is associated. Come on now, y'all ain't gonna see it. It's too early in the morning.
I am loving it. You all, again, we have Obba Babtunde here in Tupelo, Mississippi.
Yes.
Thank you all for tuning in. He will be here at the Civic Center Auditorium at 2:00 p.m.
Yes.
He will be speaking there, and it's free for you to attend. So listen, even if you got plans, cancel those plans and be there, okay? And be there. I look forward to seeing you this afternoon. Listen, thank you all for tuning in. Please share, like. Y'all my healthy loves, and y'all have a good morning. Bye.
Bye.